Toastmaster.
Apologies. Our second speaker will be doing a speech on visionary communication part as well, the project being communicating changes. Can I get Toastmaster Shukla Dara to read the objective of the speech?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster, for the evening. Well, the purpose statement for this speech is for the member to practice the skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group or organization. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice speaking about change. I wish all the best to the speaker, Ken Winberg. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shukla. Mr. Timer, can you please give us the green light at 8 minutes, the yellow at 9, and the red at 10? Our speaker has been a Toastmaster for several years, and currently he's a Division C Director. In addition to that, he's also our VP of Public Relations. Please help me welcome Ken Weinberg, proposing change management plan for Windows 10 upgrade. Proposing change management plans for Windows upgrade, Ken Weinberg.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. To improve the number of successful outcomes of any major project by 6 times, you need to use a comprehensive change management plan. Good afternoon, members of the Metrolinx Senior Management Team. I'm Ken Weinberg, a Senior Business Analyst and a Certified People Change Management Practitioner. You'll need evidence before you believe a wild claim such as that, and evidence you shall have. As you know, because of Microsoft's phasing out of our corporate standard, Windows 7, and our increasing need to be more efficient, we are tackling a complete upgrade to systems with Windows 10, Office 365, Teams, SharePoint, and OneDrive. According to the studies that you commissioned, employees stand to become 30 to 50% more productive with this change. Success ultimately depends on adoption and usage by all employees. 80% of project outcomes depend on people doing their job differently. So people change management, or change management for short, will be key to achieving success with this extremely important project. I can say that with such confidence because ProSci Incorporated, the world's leading people change management research organization, has documented the direct correlation between success with change management objectives and success with project objectives. A correlation that has been proven in the 11 research reports published over the last 22 years. The latest edition compiles 22 years of industry-leading research from over 8,100 change practitioners, consultants from over 85 countries. The change management approach you'll see today is derived from this research. You'll come away with from this presentation with a high-level understanding of the change management for your Windows 10 Office 365 upgrade, and I will obtain your support for the change management plans. We surveyed managers across the company to obtain a measure of how ready the organization is to change. We measured 2 different scales, the change characteristics scale and the organizational attributes score. And each was a possible 5 out of 5. For the change characteristics score, we got 38. And for the organizational attributes score, we got 32. And you can see from these questions that we're really intent on finding out the characteristics of this organization and its attributes. So with a score of 38 for CC and a 32 for OA, we find ourselves just inside the low risk assessment category. Not quite deep into the low risk, but on the edge perhaps of low risk to medium risk. And this is how ready our organization is for change. So using the result of this risk analysis, we can scale and adapt the kinds of plans and recommendations that we're going to make to lead to a successful change. It takes time for people to change. People are not a system where you can flip a switch and you go from the old way to the new way. We are using the ProSci methodology. The three phases are prepare approach, manage change, and sustain outcomes. We start by defining what success will look like. Then we'll define its impact on the people and the organization. Based on those, we define the approach. There are 4 critical elements for success. Before we could define our approach and our plans, we needed to put our company under the microscope. We learned how well we understood the project's definition of success and why we're changing, and what our strengths and weaknesses are in the areas of project management, change management, and leadership sponsorship. So how did we do? We scored high marks on project management. We scored high marks on our understanding of success. We scored okay on change management. That's me. But that's likely because we don't really appreciate and understand change management yet. And where we measured the leadership sponsorship aspect of change, we came out with a high risk area, which means it needs immediate action. These 4 areas are critical to the success of a project. So we have to work on leadership sponsorship, but it's not the only role that is involved in this change. The roles required to achieve success are, of course, the sponsors, but also the people managers, the people themselves, the change practitioner, and that would be me and my team, and the project manager. What we want from these roles is for them to understand their place in achieving success. So the sponsors would be able to confidently say, I, as a sponsor, contribute to the successful change outcomes through adoption and usage by actively and visibly participating throughout, building coalitions, and communicating directly. And I'll be presenting our plan for helping new sponsors do exactly that. We want our people managers to be able to say they'll contribute to successful change outcomes through adoption and usage by performing the roles of communicator, liaison, advocate, and resistance manager and coach. The people will be engaging and adopting and using the change. The change practitioner will be preparing, equipping, and supporting people with integrated strategies and plans. And the project manager will be designing with adoption and usage in mind and integrating with the people side for the success. So back to sponsors. I know you sponsors try hard, but you're pulled in so many directions. But in all 11 of ProSci's studies, active and visible sponsorship was the #1 contributor to success. You can see on the various measures here that if you want as high as 73% of project success, you need to be extremely effective as sponsors. It's critically important for driving success. There are 5 elements of successful change. Change is created when individuals change, and individuals need to be aware of the change. They need to be aware of the need for the change and of the nature of the change. They need to desire the change, to support it and participate and engage with it. They need to know how to change and how to implement the new skills and behaviors. And if all those 3 are in place, they can then develop the ability to implement the change and to demonstrate performance. And that's what we want. To keep this change Sustained, we need a reinforcement phase. We need to sustain the change, and we need to build a culture and competency around the change. That's called the ADKAR method of change. If we can get those in place, then we'll have a successful change. The kickoff, go live, and outcome dates as defined by the project management team are August 1st, next January 31st, and March the 1st. And you can see on the graph to the right that I have mapped our milestones for the awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement stages of our change journey. We want to kick off on schedule August the 1st, but between kickoff and go live, we need to help people become aware. We need to help them desire. We need to help them know, and we need to help them develop the abilities before we go live. And we are going to measure outcomes on March the 1st. So we're going to make sure that we have our reinforcement strategies in place by February the 28th. So let's look at the plans. The plans are designed and mapped directly to the 5 stages of the change model. The sponsor plan, which you need to be a part of, will focus on the awareness and the desire in the pre-launch phase and the reinforcement after launch. And as you can see, we also have outcomes and activities planned for the people managers, a communication plan, and a training plan. So by now you're dying to know what we're suggesting the sponsorship plan includes. Well, the sponsor plan will have kickoff meetings, town halls, a road show, video messages, e-learning with some video incorporated into it, and Q&A sessions. And these again are timed to correspond with the appropriate ADKAR outcomes. So the first 4 to prepare the awareness and Q&A sessions throughout to get the desire and the ability once we're ready to teach e-learning. Just for your information, we have the kickoff meetings, the workshops, the e-learning, and the newsletter for the communication plan, and the lunchtime sessions, the coaching sessions, and the recognition contests for the training plan. So in conclusion, I ask that you allow the change management team to provide resources that will make sponsoring the change easier. We'll provide you with the detailed project documentation, pre-crafted communications, and decision trees. And we ask that we can coach and educate you on the importance of change management, and we'll do that with weekly meetings, with training and coaching sessions on the sponsors' roles and responsibilities. And I want you to consider sponsor activities to build management support. Thank you. Please let me know when we can schedule our next meeting to implement these changes.
Thank you, Ken, for that wonderful speech. Please take a minute to give Ken some feedback. Mr. Timer, give us the red at 1 minute, please.